What if the biggest story coming out of the 2026 Olympics wasn't about gold? What if the real story was hidden inside a website update that most people completely missed? Think about this. A 21-year-old walks into the Winter Olympics as the most dominant figure skater on the planet. 3 years of winning, 12 consecutive victories, a move nobody else on Earth has ever landed in competition. The world was watching. Brands were ready. Legacy was within reach. And then, in front of millions, it all came apart. 2 falls, a popped quad axle, 8th place. The cameras were still rolling as he covered his face and bent over, holding back tears. And right there, in that raw, unguarded moment, something shifted. Not just for fans, not just for the sport, but behind the scenes, in offices, on phones, and apparently on his personal website. Because just weeks after the Olympics ended, sharp-eyed fans began noticing something unusual, something small, something that most people would never catch. Ilia Malinin quietly removed the name and email of his longtime sports agent, Arutyunyan, from his official website. Gone. No announcement, no statement. And in place of those contacts, there's now only one name listed under a marketing and sponsorship section, Cheryl Shade of Shade Global. Now maybe that sounds like a simple business update to you, but when you pair it with what his own coach said publicly just weeks before, you realize this is anything but ordinary. Arutyunyan, a coach who has guided some of the biggest names in figure skating for decades, sat down and said something that sent a chill through the skating world. He looked at the cameras and warned, almost prophetically, when success comes, random people suddenly appear around you with their own interests, and they will start telling you lies which you might believe and lead you in the wrong direction. He wasn't speaking in hypotheticals. He was talking about right now, about what happens when a 21-year-old figure skater with an Olympic gold medal, a 3-time world championship title, and a quad axle nobody else can land suddenly becomes one of the most marketable athletes in the world. Because here's the part the headlines aren't telling you. Despite what happened in Milan, Ilia Malinin didn't stay down. He got back on the ice. He went to Prague, and at the World Figure Skating Championships, he didn't just compete, he dominated. A score of 329.40 points. Gold in both the short program and the free skate, his 3rd consecutive world title. 3-time world champion, Olympic gold medalist in the team event, ISU award nominations, a Fair Play Award for the sportsmanship he showed in congratulating the man who beat him for the gold he came to win. Do you understand what that means commercially? The sponsorship calls alone must be astronomical. The brand deals, the tour appearances, the speaking engagements. And now, at the exact moment when all of that money and attention is coming in, the person managing those conversations on his website is no longer who it used to be. And his coach is warning him publicly about the people who appear when success finally knocks on the door. You don't have to be a business strategist to feel something is happening here. You just have to pay attention. But here's what makes this story even more layered. Ilia himself has been remarkably candid in recent weeks. He sat down with reporters and said something that caught a lot of people off guard. He criticized the way American media covered his Olympic collapse, not the result, the moment after. He said cameras were trained on him when they could have been on the medalists, that athletes deserve space, that broadcasting someone's worst moment, their tears, their private pain, was a choice and not one he agreed with. This is a young man who has been very carefully, very deliberately beginning to define his own narrative, his own image, on his own terms. And removing a name from a website, that is not an accident. That is a statement. Arutyunyan has also acknowledged what the post-Olympic season means for his skater. He said, he's already been through thick and thin, but there's still the heat, and not everyone can handle that. It's only just begun to blow, literally a season or two ago. 2 seasons. That's how long the real spotlight has been on Ilia Malinin. And even in those 2 seasons, we've watched him go from prodigy to champion, to cautionary tale to champion again, at 21 years old. So what's actually happening here? Is this a management change? Is it a business restructuring ahead of the next Olympic cycle? Is it the first sign that Ilia Malinin is stepping into a new era of his career, one where he controls the quad axle, the narrative, the brand, and the business? We don't know, and that's precisely the point, because no one has confirmed anything. There's been no announcement, no farewell post, no welcome statement, just a quiet, deliberate update on a website, and a coach warning his star athlete about the people who appear when success finally knocks on the door. The skating world is watching, the business world is watching, and clearly a whole community of fans online are watching too. What we do know is this: Ilia Malinin is not just an athlete anymore. He is a phenomenon. He redefined what was physically possible on the ice. He survived the biggest collapse of his career on the world's biggest stage, and then, quietly, methodically, he came back and won again. Whatever is happening behind those closed doors, whatever conversations are being had, whatever names are being added or removed from websites and contracts, one thing is absolutely certain. This story is just getting started. And if you want to know where it goes next, make sure you're subscribed, because when the next chapter of this unfolds, we'll be right here to break it down. Hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below. Do you think this is a smart business move, or is something more serious happening? And share this video with anyone who's been following Ilia's journey, because trust me, you'll want people to see what's coming next.